Well, it's that time of year where you may need to use that snowblower. I'm going to show you a few tips to make sure it runs properly. I'm not talking about the actual maintenance of the engine. I'm talking about just kind of a few tips and tricks to make sure it starts right, that it runs well, and you don't have any issues when that big storm hits. In order to have your engine run right, you need to have good fuel. Now, fuel breaks down over time. It oxidizes. It breaks into gums and into resins that will clog your carburetor. I run my machine all the way dry, or I will dump the extra fuel out. My gas tank on my snowblower is completely empty between usages, and especially in between seasons. If the gasoline isn't in the tank and in your carburetor, it's not going to gum it up. Now, as I said, fuel will oxidize and it will absorb water because there's ethanol, and ethanol is hydrophilic. So I will add fuel stabilizer. This fuel stabilizer calls for 1 ounce for 2.5 gallons. It is important that you mix it immediately when you get that fresh gasoline, and that you close it and keep it as airtight as possible. If the tire pressure is uneven, your machine is going to tilt to one side. It's going to wear your skids unevenly. You may want to pull. Just simply rock the machine back and forth and see if the machine wobbles. This is pretty good, but that still doesn't mean the tire pressure is correct. So we're going to go ahead and measure the tire pressure, look at what the rating is on the tire, and fill it to that PSI. You can see there's not much air in them. So we're going to go and put some air in. So these are the skids. These are what prevent your snowblower from scraping your driveway. Notice how it's starting to peel off the metal here because my skids are too low. So we need to adjust the skids to the right height. We also want to look at the skids and make sure they're not wearing too thin. So we're going to look at the amount of metal there and make sure we're good. Some skids are adjustable where when you take them off, you can actually flip them 180 degrees and then you get twice the life out of them. Mine, unfortunately, do not have that option, but I still have some life on them. So we're going to go and adjust these to the right height. It's important when you're working around your machine that your ignition key is not in and that your spark plug is disconnected. Loosen those up. We're going to use, we need to have about 1/8 of an inch clearance, and a nice little trick is to just simply use 2/4. And if you measure them, see, you have about 1/8 of an inch clearance, so that's perfect. Put these right under here. So there are my quarters. And that should be enough to give me the right clearance that I need. Tighten these back up. Now we're good. Last tip I want to share is how to prevent your snow from clogging your chute. Now I have another video where I talk about installing some pads on the impeller, which you can see right over there. I have another video and I'll place a link for that. But the simple thing is that you just want to kind of lubricate the chassis, and you can do that with things such as PAM. You can go to Lowe's or Home Depot and use a silicone or Teflon spray. Just give it a good spray there. And in the chute. And that will allow your snow to eject way easier. It will go and dry and it'll make a nice slick coating. I hope these simple tips will help you, and have fun this winter and be safe.